path is putting a restriction on vertices, and if you're visiting the vertex once, automatically it says that you're visiting that particular edge only once. Or maybe you're not visiting also. We'll see that. What is a Hamiltonian circuit? A Hamiltonian path, which is a circuit, is called Hamiltonian circuit. In the circuit, we have said the end vertices should be same, or the terminal vertices should be same. That is your Hamiltonian circuit. Remember, how did we define the walk? Walk was alternate sequence of vertices and edges. Then we define path. What was path? Recall what was path? How did we define path? If you are not going through the definitions of these, you will not be able to understand anything in the graph theory. And these questions will be asked in your viva. What is a path? What is walk? What is circuit? What is cycle? What is beam? For CGT, such kind of viva will be asked on the online lectures what we are doing right now. Please tell me what is a path. Until you tell me that, I'm not proceeding. If you don't want to put up the answer for what is a path, I will wind up my session here. Path is a we will check definition once again. Go and check your screenshots which you have taken. You were supposed to write down all these things in your notebook, which you are not doing it. Hence, you are facing problem. Had you written down all those things in your notebook, you would have remembered what is a path. How can a path be a connected graph? ये तो ऐसे है कि निवेदिता का हाथ कहाँ है निवेदिता में तो निवेदिता तो पूरी है ना उसमें हाथ पैर आंख मुंह नाक सब आते हैं ना until I get a proper definition of a path I'm not proceeding. Also note you're supposed to punch in the PRNs in your respective lectures. If you're not punching in the respective lectures, then for those lectures you're marked as absent. So those who are putting up the PRNs in my lecture will be marked present only in my lecture. And for the previous two lectures, even they have attended, they'll be marked absent. Akash Gupta is saying an open trail is called a path. So now I'm asking you what is open and what is trail? No, I cannot proceed further until you answer all these things. Because if this is not clear, what is the point of me proceeding further when you will not understand anything? If you do not know 2 plus 2 is 5 or 2 plus 2 is 4, what is the point of proceeding further and telling you what is 10 plus 2? Go back and check all your definitions. And if everybody is not participating, please leave. I don't mind. You have to give me a definition of what is a path. Akash Gupta is saying a path is an open trail. Sri Lakshmi, you're wrong. At just joining a particular set of vertices is a path. Then what is the difference between path and a walk? What is the difference between path and a trail? That means define in what is a walk and what is trail. Before Diwali, I've taken 2 lectures, and after Diwali, I've taken 2 lectures to revise all those things because I knew you're going to forget it. If you have written down, please open up your notebooks and check what is walk, what is trail, what is open trail, what is closed trail, what is path, what is cycle, and what is circuit. No, Nitin Joshi, please check again. He's writing path is a trail in which neither vertices nor edges are repeated. Check once again. Paths are of two types. Asking your definition of a path. I'm not asking you how many types are there. Akash Gupta has given me a correct definition. A open trail is called a path, but he's not answering what is open and what is trail. रट्टा मारो तो थोड़ा तो अक्ल से रट्टा मारो. Akash, never use the same word in your definition again. That will become redundant or it will be a cyclic definition. What you have written down is walk where all edges are distinct. If you remember, I've given you this definition. Trail is a walk in which all edges are distinct. And I told you, when you're going through a jungle, you are actually trailing it. Same route you will not be able to pass through again, and you should not be passing through again. So, trail simply says that in which You can come back to the same vertex, but through different route. आप सेम जगह पे पहुंच सकते हो, बट रास्ता जो फॉलो कर रहे हो वो डिफरेंट है, तो आप सेम रास्ते से वापस वापस नहीं जाओगे. अगर आप कहीं भटक गए हो तो आप डिफरेंट डिफरेंट रूट्स लेके जा सकते हो, आप सेम जगह पे पहुंच सकते हो, बट वो रूट सेम नहीं है. तो ट्रेल इज अ वॉक इन विच एजेस आर डिस्टिंक्ट. And what do I mean by open? When your terminal vertices, that means where you start and where you end, are different, it is called as open. When your terminal vertices are same, it is called as closed. That is what I mean by open trail and closed trail. So what is a walk? Walk is alternate sequence of कि कहाँ जा रहे हो और किस रोड से जा रहे हो. तो जहां जा रहे हो, if you're moving from one place to the other, फ्लाई करके तो नहीं जाएंगे, यू हैव टू फॉलो अ रोड और अ पाथ. इट कैन बी एनी पाथ. सो अगर फ्लाई करके भी जा रहे हैं तो भी तो पाथ ही फॉलो कर रहे हैं ना. ऐसे तो नहीं है कि यहाँ से गायब हो गए दूसरी जगह पे पैदा हो गए बाय होलोग्राम. और अगर वो भी कर रहे हैं तो यू आर पासिंग थ्रू अ डिजिटल मीडिया, सो अगेन यू आर फॉलोइंग अ पाथ. So even if you're vanishing and appearing in the other place, you are following a path. The only thing is people are not able to see. So we're simply saying if you're going from one point to the other point, you have to follow a path. An alternate sequence of vertices and edges is called a walk. What is called as a trail? When all the edges are distinct, is called a trail. If a trail is open, that means end vertices are not same, we call it as the path. If it is closed, we call it as we have defined open trail and closed trail. Open trail is called as path. When the end vertices are same, we call it as closed trail. What have we called the closed trail as? Circuit. So we have defined, we first defined walk. Walk was alternate sequence of vertices and edges. Then we had defined trail, trail in which all the edges are distinct. Then we defined upon open trail. Open trail means end or terminal vertices are different. We call it as a path. And then we defined closed trail. Closed trail was circuit. And how did I define cycle? After circuit, I've defined cycle. What was the definition for cycle? Go through it once again and tell me what was the definition of cycle. Have a look at this. We have talked about trail. Trail is a walk in which all the edges are distinct. Path is an open trail. Circuit, it is a closed trail. And what is a cycle? Cycle is a circuit in which no other vertices are repeated except the terminal vertices. So in circuit, you are allowed to visit the vertices more than once. But in cycle, but in cycle, your edges are also distinct and your vertices are also distinct except your end vertices. Please by heart these definitions. What is a walk, trail, path, circuit, and cycle? I wanted these definitions. We're proceeding now. Now remember, what was an Eulerian path? In the Eulerian path, we were traversing each edge only once. You cannot traverse it again. What is the difference between your trail and your Euler path, or path and an Euler path? In the path, it says you should have distinct edges. In the Euler path also it says you should have distinct edges. But the path says if you have 10 edges, you can visit any 4, 5, 6, 7, any number of edges. But the Euler path says you'll have to visit all the edges only once. So in the Euler path, we have restriction on edges. E for Euler, E for edges, E. So in the Euler path, all the edges have to be visited only once. Now check the Hamiltonian path. Hamiltonian path in a connected graph is a path that traverses each vertex in G only once. It is not saying about the edges. It is simply saying you have to visit each vertex only once. That means all the vertices are to be distinct. But if your end vertices are same, we know when the end vertices are same, we call it as a circuit. So if I visit each and every vertex once and I come back to the same vertex, I call it as Hamiltonian circuit. Please note, in graph theory, things are very simple, but the definitions are a bit confusing. So you will have to write down on a piece of paper in the form of a chart what is what. If you don't write down that and if you don't distinguish, you will say graph theory is very complicated, confusing, I can't understand. Know the difference between Hamiltonian path. Path says it is an open trail, but what was trail? Distinct edges. That means path should have distinct edges, but that doesn't say you have to visit all the path. That doesn't say that you have to visit all the edges. That is a path. Let me just shift to another network. There is no power supply, so Wi-Fi is gone. Give me a couple of seconds. So we were talking about path, Eulerian path and Hamiltonian path. The path says it should have distinct edges. Eulerian path says that it should visit each edge only once, but Hamiltonian path says you should visit each vertex only once. The definition is clear for all three. The difference: path says all distinct edges, no residues, except that it should be distinct. Eulerian says नहीं 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 आप सारे एजेस पूरा पृथ्वी का भ्रमण करके आ जाओ, बट हर एक रूट आप एक ही बार लोगे. हैमिल्टोनियन पाथ सेज आप हर एक सिटी में सिर्फ एक ही बार जाओगे. Is that point clear? See, if the definition is not clear, you will not be able to prove anything. Eulerian E. That means in Eulerian, I have to visit each edge only once. Hamiltonian V. It says in the Hamiltonian, I have to visit every vertex only once. Now, how do I remember? I can remember E with E, but how do I remember H with V? Then you can ask, how is the Josh? Very high. Vertex with Hamiltonian. So this is how you can remember with your Hamiltonian path. So Hamiltonian circuit is a path in which your end vertices are same. We call it as a circuit. Now what is a Hamiltonian graph? If a graph has a Hamiltonian circuit, we will call it as a Hamiltonian graph. Please note, a graph may have Hamiltonian path, but not a Hamiltonian circuit. Graph should have a Hamiltonian circuit. यानी कि जहां से शुरू किया था वहीं तक वापस आ जाओ. आप ऐसे मत करना अपने स्टडीज में, केजी से शुरू किया वापस केजी पे मत आइएगा. You should go from KG to PG. Take the screenshot for this so that I can proceed. Look at this particular graph. We want to know whether a Hamiltonian path exists, whether a Hamiltonian circuit exists, and whether this is a Hamiltonian graph. There are three things which I want to know from this particular graph. Hamiltonian path exists, Hamiltonian circuit exists, and whether this is a Hamiltonian graph or not. So what is the definition for Hamiltonian path? I should visit all the vertices once. Please note, our very definition has said that this particular graph should be connected, and I can see there's a connected graph. And I want to visit all the vertices. So now assuming I start from C. From C I go to A, I go to D. Now I have to reach from D to B. Is there any way out? I have already visited C, A, and I am at D now. Can I go from D to B? Can I go from D to B? No. There is no path over there. There is no edge over there. That means I cannot go from one point to the other point by visiting the remaining points. That means I cannot go from one vertex to the other vertex by visiting all the other vertices. I started with C. You can start with D. I can go from D to A to B. Now how to go from B to C? I don't know. Can I go from B to C? Yes, I can go from B to C. B to A to C. But I didn't visit D. That means a Hamiltonian path does not exist for this. Hamiltonian path does not exist. Then you will say Hamiltonian circuit also does not exist. क्योंकि path ही नहीं है. Circuit is what? Having a Hamiltonian path. But path है ही नहीं. तो circuit कैसे बनेगा? So in that case, it is not Hamiltonian circuit. And if it doesn't have Hamiltonian circuit, It doesn't, it is not a Hamiltonian graph. So this particular graph is not a Hamiltonian graph. Answer this for remaining. That is my graph G2 having a Hamiltonian path, having a Hamiltonian socket, and having a Hamiltonian graph? Or is it the Hamiltonian graph? You have to put up the answer as 3. Hamiltonian path, yes or no, comma. Hamiltonian socket, yes or no, comma. Is it the Hamiltonian graph, yes or no? So, put up in the chat panel 3 answers separated by 2 commas. Even if you give me one path, which is Hamiltonian path, that's fine. I'm not getting any answer. What is it? No response from your side. Please note, I want one path in which I can visit all if a single path exists. Even if a single path exists, I will call it as a Hamiltonian path. एक path भी मिला मुझे, then too I will call it as a Hamiltonian path. So can you give me one path so that I can reach from one vertex to the other vertex by traversing the remaining vertices? Hamiltonian path says, give me a path in which I visit each vertex only once. So can you give me a path in which I can visit each vertex only once? Jayesh is giving DCBA. Please note that path. Is it correct? Yes. D, C, B, A. Or you can also put up as A, B, C, D. So even if you give me one path which visits all the vertices only once, that is a Hamiltonian path. So in this case, if you see, we have a Hamiltonian path. Did you understand that? Hamiltonian path says you have to visit all the vertices one. That means you have to find out a path where all the vertices are visited. Even if you have a single path, it's okay, na? A to B, B to C, C to D. But can I go from A to C and then no, I cannot choose that path. because there is no connectivity between B and D. Now check, is it a Hamiltonian circuit? Now if it has to be a circuit and that too Hamiltonian, what should I do? I should visit all the vertices once and my terminal edges should be same. So now check, as Jayesh has suggested, let me take same path D, C, B, A. After A, I should go back to D where there is no path. Or if I take A, B, C, D, from D I should come back to A, but there is no path. That means from my observation, I say that if there is a vertex whose degree is 1, I cannot have a circuit. Why? From C to D, तो एक तरफ से अंदर जाना है तो दूसरी तरफ से बाहर आना है ना. So if you have to go from C to D, then you have to come out from D to some other vertex. That means the degree of the vertex of D should be minimum 2. अगर 1 है तो आप सेम ही रास्ता अंदर जाने के लिए और बाहर आने के लिए ले रहे हैं. I want 2 different paths so that I can go into the city and come out of the city with a different path. So in this case, Hamiltonian circuit does not exist. I can't find any of the circuits which are Hamiltonian. That is, I cannot find out a circuit such that I visit each vertex only once. Reason is, if you see the degree of the vertex D, there is only one path which is going inside or coming out. But I require 2 paths. And that too, if I'm going from one path inside, from the other path I should come outside. Is this point clear? Did you understand? For a circuit, the minimum degree should be 2. And in this case, you're not understanding or I'm not getting the response. I do not know what is the thing. Okay. Now, if it doesn't have Hamiltonian circuit, then in that case we'll say it doesn't have Hamiltonian graph. So this graph has a Hamiltonian path, but it doesn't have a Hamiltonian circuit, hence it cannot be called as Hamiltonian graph. Look at this. Now tell me whether it has Hamiltonian path, Hamiltonian circuit, and can it qualify as Hamiltonian graph? Does it have a Hamiltonian path? If it has a Hamiltonian path, can you just give me one of the path? Aparna has given ABDC. Okay. Others have also given same ABDC. So I have one path which is ABDC. But can I have a circuit also in this? We found out a path. Can I find a circuit in this? Yes. Whatever path you gave me, ABDC back to A. So I have a Hamiltonian circuit there. So if I can find out a Hamiltonian circuit, that graph qualifies to be a Hamiltonian graph. Things are clear? Take the screenshot so that we can proceed. Now this is Dirac's theorem. What does Dirac's theorem say? It says let G be a graph of order p greater than equal to 3. If degree of V is greater than equal to p by 2 for every vertex V of G, then G is Hamiltonian. So it is saying that if this particular condition is satisfied, then I will call it as a Hamiltonian graph. Nothing else is being said. Whether I can call it as non-Hamiltonian graph. This simply says I can call it as Hamiltonian if this condition is satisfied. So let's check. We have these three. In this graph, we are checking these conditions. What is the condition? Condition says degree of V is greater than equal to P by 2. Check the G3 graph. In the G3 graph, how many? What? So P is greater than equal to 3. So P is 4. What is P by 2? Which is 4 by 2. 4 by 2 is 2. So is degree of each vertex greater than equal to 2? Yes. So I can say G3 is Hamiltonian. But how about this particular graph? Let's check. What is the number of vertices in this G2 graph? 4. So P is 4. What will be P by 2? 4 by 2 is 2. Degree of each vertex should be greater than equal to 2. But you can see we have got one of the degree as 1. That is degree of D is 1. That condition is not satisfying. It is not satisfying. So I cannot say whether it is Hamiltonian or not Hamiltonian. Dirac simply says that if this condition is satisfied, it is Hamiltonian. If this condition is clean. But don't you feel in the previous slide we have seen G2 is not Hamiltonian and G1 is also not Hamiltonian? Is my point clear what Dirac says? Dirac says if this condition is satisfied, it is a Hamiltonian. If it is not satisfied, I don't want to say anything. Take the screenshot for this. Now in this case, if the condition was not satisfied, the graph was not Hamiltonian. But can you give me an example where this condition is not satisfied and still it is Hamiltonian? Yes, I can give you an example where the condition is not satisfied and still it is Hamiltonian. Dirac simply said ये condition right है, satisfy कर रहा है तो it is Hamiltonian. नहीं कर रहा है तो हम कुछ नहीं कह सकते. चला proceed. Check with this graph. Please note, I can move from one vertex to the other vertex in the clockwise direction. And if I move in the clockwise direction, I come back to the same all the vertices once. So this particular graph is a Hamiltonian graph. Remember, we have called these as cycles. This is C5, capital C underscore 5. All cycles are Hamiltonian graphs. But check, does it satisfy this particular condition? Degree of V is greater than or equal to P by So 5 by 2, 5 by 2 is 2.5. 2.5, number greater than 2.5 is 3. But check what are the degree of these vertices. Each vertex has degree 2, but it says each vertex should have the degree greater than or equal to 2.5. So this condition is not satisfying, but still this is a Hamiltonian graph. So all cycles are Hamiltonian graph. Is it fine? This is C6. Again a cycle. I can go from V1 to V2 to V3 to V4 to V5 to V6. Check the degree of each vertex is 2. But in this, if I apply Dirac's theorem, my degree of each vertex should be greater than or equal to 6 by 2, which should be 3. But check, each vertex has degree 2. And still I call this as, these are Hamiltonian graphs. Any k regular simple graph with 2k minus 1 vertices is Hamiltonian. So any k regular simple graph with 2k minus 1 vertices is Hamiltonian. So you'll have to check how many vertices are there. Based on that, you can decide what can be your k. So if it is that regular, then we will be calling it as Hamiltonian graph. Take the screenshot for this. This is given example of a graph which is Hamiltonian but not Eulerian and vice versa. This is a graph which is Hamiltonian but not Eulerian. What was the condition for Eulerian? In the Eulerian, either all the vertices should be even degree or maximum 2 vertices can have odd degree. Now check. What is degree of V5? What is degree of V4? And what is degree of V6? Degree of V4, V5 and V6. Even you can check the degree of V2. Degree of V2 is 5. Degree of V4 is 3. V5 is 3. V6 is also 3. So I have more than 2 vertices whose degrees are odd. Hence, I cannot say it is an Eulerian graph. Is it fine? For Hamiltonian, I have given you the sequence. If you follow this particular sequence, you'll get a Hamiltonian circuit. And if Hamiltonian circuit exists, you can simply say it is a Hamiltonian graph. See, whether to find out whether a graph is Hamiltonian or not, it is still an open problem. Nobody has come out with a concrete theorem that if these are conditions, this is necessary and sufficient condition for a graph to be Hamiltonian. Still, the research is going on. People are still publishing papers on that. As good as in 2018 also, they have come up with one of the examples or one of the papers where they have said that this may lead to a Hamiltonian graph, but still they have not come out with concrete, necessary and sufficient conditions. Now this particular graph is Eulerian but not Hamiltonian. Eulerian because each vertex is having even degree. It is not Hamiltonian circuit because if you move from V1 to V2, V2 to V3, V3 to V4, and now if you go to V5, from V5 you have to go back to V2. But V2 I cannot visit. In whichever way you start doing this, you will not be able to get a Hamiltonian circuit. Hamiltonian circuit said I have to visit each vertex only once. So from V5, now I cannot move further, and I had to reach V6. If I have to reach V6 from V5, there are only two ways. Either I go through V4 or I go through V2. But both the vertices are already visited. So no circuit exists. Screenshot for this, and I want you to try on your own whether a Hamiltonian circuit exists or not. If it exists, it is Hamiltonian graph. And then, if circuit does not exist, try to find out Hamiltonian path exists or not. Taken the screenshot. There are hardly few people, those who are responding and they are active. Others, they have just put up a telecast or a broadcast, टीवी चालू करके छोड़ दिया है. Take the screenshot for this. This says, show that a Hamiltonian circuit does not exist for these graphs. Now please note, why are we saying that Hamiltonian graph does not exist? Because I have to have a Hamiltonian circuit for this. In the first one, I can go from A to B, B to C, C to D, D to E. But from E, I cannot come back to A. And check, degree of E is degree of E is 1. So I cannot have a circuit. Similarly, check with next graph. The next graph says I can go from D to E. Now, if I have to reach to B, I have to come back only through C. Now, check the C is the center point. Even though it has 4 paths, but if I have to go, if I remove this particular vertex, I will get disconnected part, disconnected graphs. So if I have to visit from one graph to the other graph, I have to pass through C. So if I have to go from this triangle, ABC triangle, to CDE triangle, I have to visit through. Now check A to B, B to C, C to E, E to D. Good enough. This is a Hamiltonian path. But for Hamiltonian circuit, I have to go back to A, and that is not possible. So if I visit A to B, B to C, C to D, D to E, from E I cannot traverse back to A. Hence, Hamiltonian path exists, but Hamiltonian circuit does not exist. So H is also not a Hamiltonian graph. There are various different things for the Hamiltonian graphs. We will do only this much because this is there in your syllabus. I can go into detail of it, but time doesn't permit. So we're proceeding for next topic, which are planar graphs. What do I mean by a planar graph? A graph is called planar if it can be, that is, if it is possible to draw in the plane without any edges crossing. That means I want to draw the edges without crossing. Where a crossing of edges is the intersection of lines or arcs representing them at a point other than their common endpoints. This is what I mean. If I have ABCD, this as the graph, then I want to draw this graph without the edges crossing. You can see A to C and B to D. these are the edges which are crossing. As of now, this is looks like a non-planar graph. If I draw it in this way, it is a non-planar graph. Why? Because the diagonals are intersecting in the middle. But can I draw this particular graph in the form of planar graph? Yes. You can see I have drawn the periphery or perimeter or the outer ring ABCD and one of the diagonal BD. Other diagonal AC, we have taken it outside, and it is possible to draw these graphs. So graph, initially it might look like non-planar, but when you sit and try to draw it, you it may be possible to get a planar graph. Please note, again, we are emphasizing on it is possible or if it can be drawn. We are not saying all the graphs you can draw as planar graphs. No, there are non-planar graphs also. Take the screenshot for this definition. I want you to draw a planar graph of this graph. See if it is possible to draw a planar graph for this graph. Are you able to draw a planar graph? Is it a planar or non-planar? Non-planar. देखते very first thing, let me join first, second, and third. The first three are done. I have to join now this with the remaining. If I have to join this with the remaining, I'm joining it as this, joining it as this, and भाई ये तो बन गया. हर्ष ये तो बन गया. So don't jump to the conclusions. This is a planar graph. Did you understand how did I join? I first joined three edges and then remaining I have seen that it doesn't cross. If it doesn't cross, I think all these things you might have done it in your physics lab where you have been given the connection, the wires, and you're supposed with those crocodile wires you were supposed to put up the circuits and so on. Check my graph in red, how does it look and how it has been drawn over here. If you see, both the graphs are actually isomorphic graphs. Okay, this was one of the way how did we draw it. I've given you second way also. Check with this. Determine whether the given graph is planar. If so, draw it so that no edges cross. In your Viva, I'll be giving you on the PPT that this is the graph. Draw the planar graph, and then I'll be asking you to send the screenshots. Please punch in your PRNs. Check how it is being drawn. There are some mobile games on this also, where it says given a graph, try to put up as a planar graph. So you are just supposed to push this particular vertex and push it at some other place so that the edges don't cross. Or it is also called as untangling the wires or untangling the strings. Such kind of games are available where you have to untangle the strings. Did you take the screenshot for this? Now just determine whether the given graph is planar. If so, draw it so that no edges cross. This graph is non-planar graph. You will say, how do I come to know whether it is a planar graph or non-planar graph? Planar graph should satisfy your Euler's equation. What is the Euler's equation? If you remember, we have done the Euler's equation based on the number of vertices, number of edges and number of faces. We had a equation having the relationship between V and E and F and 2. So we it says V plus F equal to E plus 2. That means vertices, the number of vertices plus number of faces should be equal to number of edges plus 2. If it satisfies, it is a planar graph. If it does not satisfy, it is a non-planar graph. And you'll say, how do I know whether this is planar graph or not? You can always check the number of vertices, number of edges, and number of faces. Now, what you'll say, edges and vertices I can count immediately. How do I count the number of faces? Check in this case which is the minimum or minimal closed figure. Minimal closed figure in this I can see is a triangle. That means I want a boundary of a figure which is closed. So which is the minimal figure? You know, a line is an open region. I cannot close anything into a line. If I have to close anything, I should have a triangle. Triangle is the minimum figure which is closed. So I should count the number of triangles in this. And you'll say, okay, tell me how do I count the number of triangles in this? How will you count the number of triangles in this? For counting the number of triangles, we have seen that in the CGP earlier sessions, unit 1. Now says notice that the definition of a planar graph includes the phrase if it is possible to. This means that even if a graph does not look like it is planar, it still might be. And we have seen this graph. Initially, it didn't look that it was planar graph. And check, I have also drawn it this way, the planar graph. Now do check. In this case, it doesn't form a triangle. In the earlier graph, I had shown you that it was the minimal closed figure was triangle. But in this case, minimal closed figure is a quadrilateral. We'll say I can see a triangle. Now check. There are 4 edges. 1, 2, 3, and 4. There are 4 edges which are closing. It has 4 edges or the boundaries. Similarly, check in this. I have 1, 2, 3, and 4. So for these, the minimal closed figure having 4 boundaries. Please take the screenshot for this so that we can proceed further. Okay, before I proceed, any still this? Nobody's asking me any questions. Either there are no doubts or people don't want to ask. मैं भी देता हूँ. Okay, let's go back to the previous graph. Now check in this case. A to B to F to C and to A. This particular has 4 edges. But what is this particular part? again, it has four edges. It forms a triangle, but it has four edges. It looks like a triangle, but it is not a triangle. In this case, and four. Same thing was being shown here. It looks like a triangle, but it doesn't have a triangle. But when I have redrawn it, one, two, three, and four. When I redraw it this way, it becomes a parallelogram. So even if it looks like a triangle, but it is not a triangle. That means even if it looks like a planar graph, non-planar graph, it might be a planar graph. We were talking about if I want to ask you which is the minimal closed graph. Is this graph having two vertices and one edge a closed graph? No. If I have three vertices and two edges, is it a closed graph? No. Then which is the minimal closed graph? The minimal closed graph is triangle. So you should always try to look for a triangle first and check the number of faces. So the number of faces will always start with a minimal closed figure. The minimal closed figure is this particular figure, which is having three edges as boundary. So triangle will have three edges. But if you check with this particular graph, then this is also closed, having four vertices. But how many edges do I have? I have four edges. Also check which is the next closed graph. The next closed graph can have five vertices, and I can have that as a pentagon. Check, this is also closed. But we were talking about which is the minimum closed region or minimum closed figure. That is always a triangle. So whenever you're going to look for the faces, first find out is there a triangle available there. A triangle will have the edges as three boundaries. A rectangle, square, quadrilateral, parallelogram, trapezium will have four boundaries. So it might happen that in a figure, you don't have triangle, you don't have quadrilateral, you don't have parallelogram. Then you should always look for a pentagon. And that is what I was talking about. I will be using all these things in my subsequent slides. So I wanted you to see, can you find out a triangle, a rectangle or a square or a quadrilateral or a parallelogram or a pentagon and so on. Is your query clear, Nivedita? So since the graphs are the same, so if one is planar, the other must be two. So this says, however, the original drawing of the graph was not a planar representation of a graph. When a planar graph is drawn without edges crossing, the edges and vertices of the graph divide the plane into regions, and we call this region as face. So I have to call these, I have to count these faces. So if you see, I have to count these faces. This graph has three faces. You will say how three faces? Three faces means one face is this particular, which I can see in the on the upper side. This is the second face, which I can see on the upper side. Which is the third face? Please check. Yes, we do include the outside region as a face. So outside region is a face, or I can say if I take this in three-dimensional, I have a bottom. That bottom is having a, I'll just highlight this with different color. So you have this also as a face. So you have three faces. One are the inner quadrilaterals, two quadrilaterals, and one is the outer quadrilateral. So these are three faces. Or if you talk in a planar graph, this is one, this is two, and outside what remains is, you can call it as three. Because these are bounded, this is also bounded, and remaining is also bounded. So it says the number of faces does not change no matter how you draw the graphs, as long as you do so without the edges crossed. So if it makes sense to ascribe the number of faces as a property of the planar graph. It says we can only count faces when the graph is drawn in the planar way. For example, consider these two representations of the same graph. Now, in this case, if you start counting, you will say that I will be counting these as this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4, and outside as 5. So you will say this is 5 faces. Please note this is not drawn in the planar graph. You have to draw the planar graph and then count the faces. Same graph, if you know, we have drawn it as this. So we can count this as 1, this is 2, this is 3, and outside is 4. So this particular has 4 faces. So whenever you have to count the number of faces, you will have to draw that as a planar graph and then count. Please do not count it in the way which we have counted it earlier. So this says for any connected planar graph with V vertices, E edges and F faces, we have V minus E plus F equal to 2. Check, as we have done it earlier. In this case, how many number of, for the first case, we have redrawn it this way. How many faces were there? 1, 2, 3, and 4. How many vertices are there? 4 vertices. How many edges are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So minus 6. How many faces are there? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 plus 4, 8. 8 minus 6, 2. It satisfies the equation. And other ways, if you know that the graph is planar, you can always count the number of vertices and number of edges. Substitute in this particular formula, you will get the number of faces. If you already know if the graph is planar. If no, then just put up in this. If it satisfies, we will be saying it is a planar graph. Why is Euler's formula true? So we are going to use the induction and try to construct the graph, and we'll see, is the Euler formula true always? Now it says one way to convince yourself is its validity to draw a planar graph step by step. So we start with the graph P2. P2 means a graph having 2 vertices. So this is a graph having 2 vertices. Now check, I have only an edge. If there is only an edge, I don't have a closed figure. So whatever is the figure, the whitish figure which I can see, that is my face, which is only 1. That is only the outside region. So in this case, the face is 1. And what was my equation? Equation of number of vertices. Number of vertices is 2. Minus number of edges. How many edges? 1. How many faces? 1. So this becomes 2. Does it satisfy? Yes. So in this case, we have said that the equation satisfies for P2. That is my induction hypothesis. Then we are saying any connected graph besides just a single isolated vertex must contain the subgraph. So I'm extending this subgraph. Now we build up a graph by adding edges and vertices. At each step will consist of either adding a new vertex connected by a new edge to part of your graph, that is creating a spike, or by connecting 2 vertices already in the graph with a new edge, which completes the circuit. What does that mean? if you are trying to add edges and vertices, this is what two cases will be. This is your existing subgraph. Let's look at the existing subgraph first. Don't look at this dotted part. If I look at the existing graph, I will have one vertex, second vertex, third vertex, fourth vertex. So number of vertices is 4. Similarly, here I will have 1, 2, 3, 4. So number of vertices is 4. How many number of edges do I have? 1, 2, 3 and 4. So minus 4. How many faces do I have? Check. I have, this is face 1 because this is only closed, and then remaining is my face 2. So I will have this as plus 2. If you check, the answer is equal to 2. Now we are trying to add the first step. In the first step, we are trying to add a vertex and an edge. So if I'm adding a vertex and an edge, a figure might look like this, or I'm adding only an edge, so figure might look like this. So if the resultant figure is this, let's check, does it satisfy the Euler's formula? Now once this particular vertex is added, the number of vertices becomes 5. So I will have 5. I've added this particular edge also. So minus 5. Check, the faces don't change. There are only 2 faces. Plus 2, which is equal to 2. So in this case, it has satisfied the equation, Euler's equation or Euler's formula. Let's look at this. First face, second face and third face. How many vertices are there? 4. How many edges are there? 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So minus 5. How many faces are there? 3. So 7 minus 5 equal to 2. So it says if you are adding a spike, still it is satisfying the Euler's formula. And if you are drawing a edge which completes it as a region, still it satisfies the formula. Is this clear? So this is what it says. What do these moves do? When adding a spike, the number of edges increases by 1. Check, the number of edges increased by 1 and the number of vertices have also increased by 1. And the number of faces remains same in the first case. This means that V minus E plus F does not change. But what happens in the second case? When we are completing a circuit, it adds one edge and adds one face and keeps the number of vertices same. So again, V minus E plus F does not change. In the first case, what is happening? You are increasing vertex by 1 and edge by 1. That means 1 minus 1, it will balance. In the second case, what you are doing? You are increasing edge by 1 and you are increasing face by 1. So this is minus 1 plus 1. So it balances. And this simply says that since we can build any graph using a combination of these two moves, and doing so never changes the quantity V minus E plus F, that quantity will be same for all the graphs. But notice that a starting graph P2 had this. So we have already verified this. And this is the argument as by proof of induction, we have proved the Euler's formula. Then we are looking at all non-planar graphs. Not all graphs are planar. If there are too many edges and too few vertices, then some of the edges will need to intersect. The smallest graph where this happens is K5. So we want to prove that K5 is non-planar graph. Remember what did I say? all the planar graphs have to satisfy the Euler's formula. Now I have to show that K phi is the graph which is non-planar. That means it should not satisfy the Euler's formula. Are we in sync or people have slept? Do you want me to proceed from here or do you want me to stop here? Okay. We want to show that this graph is non-planar graph. How does a K phi look like? K phi is a complete graph on 5 vertices. That means degree of each vertex will be n minus 1. N minus 1 means 5 minus 1, which is 4. So degree of each vertex should be 4. This is how your K phi graph looks like. Now to prove that this is non-planar graph. If I have to prove by non-planar graph, what should I do? I should first assume it is a planar graph, come to a contradiction, and then proceed further. So if we try to draw this without edges crossing, we quickly get into a trouble. In fact, we can prove that no matter how you draw, K phi will always have edges crossing. So we are trying to prove K phi is a non-planar graph. So we'll say assume K phi is planar. If I assume K phi is planar, then in that case it should satisfy the Euler's formula. How many edges and how many vertices do I have in K phi? So let's check how many edges and how many vertices are there. I have this as one vertex, second vertex, third vertex, fourth vertex, and fifth vertex. There are 5 vertices. How many edges are there? Each vertex, its degree is 4. So I should multiply the number of vertices by its degree and divide by 2. There are 5 vertices, each having degree as 4. But I'm counting all the edges twice, hence I'm dividing by 2. So in this case, the number of edges are 10. If you want, you can label it. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This edge is 6. This is 7. This is 8. This is 9. And this is 10. So there are 10 edges. 5 vertices and 10 edges. So then the graph must satisfy the Euler's formula for planar graph. And I already know that this has 5 vertices and 10 edges. So what do I get F as? What is the value of F? So faces should be 7. F should be 7 if it satisfies the Euler's formula. Let's check in a different way. Now consider how many edges surround each face. You'll say, how do I know which face it is? So let's check with this. Check in this part. I have, I'm drawing a, I'm drawing, which is the minimum figure in this. So I'm trying to draw a minimum figure in this, and I will draw it with red. So the minimum figure is this triangle. Triangle has three boundaries. Similarly, if you see, I have this as triangle, three boundaries. Similarly, if you look at this, the minimum figure which I have in this particular graph is a triangle. All are triangles, and triangle has three edges or three boundaries. So check. Now consider how many edges surround each face. Each face must be surrounded by at least three edges. या तो ट्रायंगल है या तो ट्रायंगल से ऊपर है, तो कम से कम तीन एजेस तो होने चाहिए. So at least three edges. Let B be the total number of boundaries around all the faces in the graph. That means each face will have at least three edges. But how many faces did I have? I had 7 faces. Or I will call it as F. So कम से कम 3F तो होना ही चाहिए. Thus we will say that the number of boundaries should be greater than or equal to, because minimum figure which I was getting was a triangle, and triangle had 3 boundaries. It might have a square also. Square को 4 boundaries होंगे, but minimum 3 तो होंगे ना, because here 3 are also involved. So in this case it says from this I will get 3F is less than equal to B. But what is B? B is the total number of edges, and it is counted twice when we are counting these faces. So B should be equal to 2E. So if I substitute this 2E over here, I will get it as 3F is less than equal to 2E. But now I know what is value of F and what is value of E. Value of F was 7 and value of E was 10. We already know F is 7 and E is 10. When I substitute, I get 21 is less than equal to 20. This is impossible and this is a contradiction. So in fact, A5 is not planar graph. Is it fine? These are usually asked in your interviews. That can you tell us K5 is a planar graph or not? Today we will stop here, and in the next session we will proceed with the bipartite graphs, and we will see can we talk about bipartite graphs being planar or non-planar, and then we'll go for the coloring of graphs, chromatic number. Today we will stop here.